I am just getting started on take 2. Sorry, the first one, my kid decided to photobomb with pudding. Yeah, for those of you who understand, you get it. For those of you who don't, I'm not even going to try and explain. Anyway, pudding is gone. Sun might be back, I'm hoping. I need to share my link for this. I'm going to make the grossest face ever, but I need to share my link for this in all the right locations. So you guys get to deal with me staring blankly at my computer for just a second while I get the links into all the right places. There's no way for me to go live on multiple groups at the same time, and I don't think I might should. Yay, Adam Reed! Welcome! I found it and I totally get photobomb. That's right. Yeah, no, it wasn't just photobomb, it was the pudding. Oh, the pudding. You have kids, you know about pudding. That stuff can get exciting. That didn't work right. Try this again. Is that gonna work? Nope. I think I shared it correctly last time. Oh my gosh, I know. Oh yes. Sorry, Adam said, it's as bad as baby food. Pudding is. Except it's chocolate, so they like to use their fingers. And they spill. Oh. Oh, it's so exciting. Okay, so as I were. Sorry, I have to go roundabout. I'm not sure if anybody out there knows this. I can't share the live link until after I'm live because the link doesn't exist until I'm live. And then once I do have it live, I can't do it from inside of the live share. I have to, here we go. Here we go. Share. I have to go to the guild in order to share in all of the places. And at first I did do it wrong, so my bad. I have a nasty habit of talking through all of my techniques. It's just a thing. That's where all of my study sessions come from, which hopefully you guys are already appreciative of. One. I get the feeling somebody new arrived. Pretty excited to say hello, but I have to be a second behind everybody for just another minute. Oh, I look funny when I'm staring off into space. I'm sorry, guys. It's not a good look for me. I just got to minimize. Oh, I'm making all the best faces when I look at myself. Yay. And a 2. And a 3. And I promise to be more interesting in a minute. I really do. I promise. Here we go. think I skipped 3 of the groups. I think that's what I did. I think I'm in a good place now. Okay. Leave. Come here. Hi, I'm back. Hello, Jennifer. I'm Italian, so we talk with our hands. I get it, said Adam Reed. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Adam. I'm glad last time it worked well. Hey, Jennifer, Adam, duh, what's up, George? You guys are hilarious. So, hello. You know what's really funny? I got here and I realized I was wanting to catch up with everyone and ask how everybody's doing. And what I didn't do is figure out what I'm going to lead with at all. So how's things? You guys get to go first. Tell me about life. You're it. I can tell you about my life. My life's been weird. I drank very reasonably at my sister's wedding and late into the night. Drank very reasonably. Had no problem getting around. Had no problem with woozy. Had no problem with slur. I had alcohol that had oak in it. I'm allergic. So I've been feeling really exciting today and yesterday. Drive home. Turns out the car moves when you drive. That gave me motion sickness the whole way. So yeah. Jennifer, things are well back from West Virginia for a few days. That's exciting. Was it nice coming home? I bet it was. Jennifer, she's super cool. She gets to help out on a special summer program where they go out into the mountains of West Virginia, and I'm including no specific like pronouns, proper nouns or anything in this, but it's a special summer program where she gets to help build housing for people who need it and do repairs on housing for low-income communities. Adam says babies are cutting teeth and rock sculpture is getting to be a tedious and meticulous in the detail. Every sculpture will do that. Every sculpture. But so it said when Adam says babies are cutting teeth, there's 2. That's epic, dude. Has anybody told you about frozen French fries? I know it's not like homeopathic medicine. Please don't take it that way. But frozen French fries are so good for teething babies. They slowly dissolve into their mouth because they aren't really firm. And because they're frozen and squishy, they're really good for chewing when they're needing to gum something. Ugh, they're a lifesaver. Sweet potatoes, the frozen sweet potatoes. Jennifer says, I built an 18-foot ramp last week for a person having trouble getting out of his home. It's awesome. Jennifer is dreading the bloodletting and doctor appointment. I'm sorry, but I'm so excited for you. I hope it goes really well. She's got surgery coming up this December. Lots of preparation for it. Adam says no, but worth a shot. Oh yeah, the frozen French fries and the sweet potatoes are a little better for the kids. A little bit less. They tend to use less of the oil when they prepare them. I had a bird fly at me, and then my dog ran over. That's my dog. That's my dog. He's photobombing. Jennifer's ready to go to Wisteria. Yes. Come here. Jennifer, I'm so sorry, honey. I lost context. You do also what? I missed something. Oh, totally random. Colored the hair right before the wedding for all the pictures, so it's all one uniform color. I mean, like, what a color! But it's all one uniform color. I know, Adam, you are jealous for good reason. You should come. Okay, let's talk about a few things. I'm going to ramble about Wisteria, okay? Ooh, there's 6 of us, 5 of us. There were 6 of us. Hello, everyone. Wisteria is, so no more gray. Oh, no, I want the gray. Oh, I want the gray. Actually, this time I deliberately used henna so that my silver and white hairs have a chance of popping through. What I want is bright, crazy color, but I want it to look natural, and I really like my gray hairs and my white hairs. They're pretty. Not to be a nerd, but I fell in love with them. They're signs. I don't look my age. Most people assume I'm like 25. I'm starting to people actually treat me like I'm my age now that I put on some weight, because apparently that's symbolic somehow. But I like having the hairs that show the battles I've been through, whatever. I think they're pretty anyway. I used to have one that was bright white that grew back here, and I'd always kind of pull it out and check on it just to make sure it was doing okay. I'm going gray as well. I'm okay with it, says Adam. Oh, with Jennifer was talking about wisteria. Jennifer was saying, I do also. I'm so excited about this coming week. Oh, yeah. Adam, I know so many people who start going gray by 29. I am now 37. I had my first gray hairs before I was 30, for sure. And I earned every single one of them. Learning by falling downstairs. That is me. But no, so I'm going to tell you guys about wisteria. I'm going to try not to get totally sidetracked because this is an exciting subject. In fact, on Kaleidoscope, we're trying to talk more about summer solstice. And this is just, I don't know, this got to be, thanks to a few old friends of mine. River and Burl are the ones who first invited me. Thank you, guys, if you happen to be able to see this. I first went with a group from Purdue called Pan, with some great friends, Kate and Alex, and I don't think Danielle went that time. Amber did, I believe. Oh, it was such a good time. We had so many cool people at our campsite. What's funny is I was pregnant, like very pregnant. Hi, sweetheart. I have a fly trying to make friends. Sorry. And oh my gosh, this place was just amazing. I helped out in the kitchen to pay my way. They had no problem with that. They said anytime I wanted to come back and volunteer, let them know. I would love to volunteer. I now have 3 kids and I present. And so if I were to volunteer in the kitchen too, I don't think I would be able to stop moving. And part of what I really love to do there isn't actually actively participate. Vegetable juice. I feel like I should say this once. Spicy V8. I know drinking red stuff on screen probably looks really weird. Apologize. But it's tasty. And I don't want my throat to dry out. And I'm not touching alcohol for a while until that oak thing clears. And I'm going to Wisteria this weekend, so I'm going to try something. Because, see, everywhere you go, people hand out alcohol. No, I shouldn't say that. Everywhere you go, people are amazing. People are friendly. All day long, there's no alcohol to be seen. At least not that I've seen. Everybody hangs out, relaxes. I've never found some place where you can just walk around doing nothing and do so much. It's fan-freaking-tastic. People are so kind. There's drumming every night. There's bonfires every night. Oh, yes, Adam, I am drinking the blood of mine enemies. There's bonfires as tall as I am, and people dance around the fire in the sand. And the drums go until 3 in the morning. Sometimes it's dawn. They have dances. They have not dances per se. They do have Tortuga, which is for 21 and over, and that is where people pass out alcohol. I'm a little worried, I have to admit. I'm gonna have to go to Tortuga and say no. That's why I led with what I did. I apologize. I feel like I should apologize. They pass out rum. They pass out Billy, and I know No idea what Billy is, but it's really good. But I probably can't drink it this year. So a moment of silence for the fact that I have to say no to wonderful things, but I will just make sure to bring my own. We get to dance on Friday night. They have a candlelight labyrinth in the grass around the place that's called Stone Circle. For those of you who've been, this makes perfect sense. For those of you who haven't, the circle, 50 feet across, I think. And it's a really, like, perfect circle. You know, normally circles are kind of lumpy or something when you make them out in nature. No, they made a perfect circle. There's a fire pit in the middle. The first year I went, there was an alchemy group that was doing a multi-night process, and it was so good. It was so good. They took over Stone Circle for the whole weekend. They decorated it. They made little houses in each of the corners. People were invited to come out and share this creative process. So good. My voice is up for it. Every year I try to make a gift of one of my songs, or I just sing. The other things, goodness. There's yoga every morning, and I never seem to make it somehow. This year I'm hoping to do Tai Chi every morning. Really stoked about that. There's an ancestor mound where you can leave gifts for the ancestors. There's Turtle Mound, which is where they often do yoga. There's my lips are peeling. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be weird. There's a pond out in the woods, and it's naturally filtered, and you can go swimming anytime during the day, which is important because it's really hot, like really hot. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Katie. I'm not sure who Katie is, but hi, Katie. We are going with a group of people from the Guild of the Gods here in Lafayette. I hope you guys can hear me okay. You can hear me okay? And we're all going to be camping out together. We've got a kind of group kitchen where we're taking how did I find this? I was invited as part of the Purdue Pagan group I was in. There was an anthropology student who'd been working a project out there, and I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's still true. He was going out there for a project. Glad you can hear. Thank you, Adam. And I was invited to go share in their chaos camp, and it was a really great time. It was. We had a really amazing experience. Hello, Luna. And I just had a bug run right between my eyes, because that happens to me. Hi, Michelle. My inner 8-year-old is alive and well. Forgive me if I turn into a Muppet every time I know someone. So going out there, my favorite part of going out there is arriving just in time to hear Paw Paw. Paw Paw is a circle. Hi, Robert. A nice sandy circle that's down in the trees, and you walk, no matter where you're at, it's right in the middle of the camp, and you go down one of the different paths to find your way there, and it's right in the middle, but surrounded by trees and by this lovely, it's like a permanent lean-to. It's not just a pavilion, it's a little bit more than that, and it's shaped like a semicircle that comes up to this apex, and all the drummers sit under it, and when they drum, it echoes their sound out into the circle. And that's where they play every night until 3 in the morning, so we camp close, so that every night, no matter what, we can feel that heartbeat of the camp. The kids sleep better there than anywhere else we've ever taken them. And we've gone to 4-star hotels and no-star hotels and parents and grandparents and all over the place and camping. Wisteria, camping near Paw Paw, that's where and it doesn't hurt that when you get there, they say welcome home and they give you a hug, and you know they're telling you truth. Paw Paw, that's right. Like the tree that has pawpaw fruit, which I've never had. I really want to try a pawpaw fruit. It apparently tastes like a cross between a mango and a banana, which sounds like perfect to me. and they're native to this region. I want a pawpaw tree on my property. I also want my lawn mowed before I go, because we're leaving on Wednesday and we are going to be gone until Sunday. I am so excited. I am presenting. Thank you, Michelle. Oh yeah, Luna, you should come. Yeah. It's south of Athens, Ohio. They are totally cool with people just showing up and wanting to go for the day. You can pre-register, but before it starts, as of tonight, it is underway. I'm not there, but I will be. I am actually going to help out with the Women's Healing Circle. I'm going to be smudging people. And shout out to, did you guys know I'm really bad with names? I am absurdly bad with names. And there is this absolutely marvelous woman who I love who's putting on the Healing Circle. Jennifer Capone is her name. There we go. A shout out to Jennifer. I'm so excited I get to go help her with her Women's Healing Circle. And Jennifer's coming with me. And there's a whole bunch of people coming this year. I am so excited. And we all get to go out and play and take care of our babies. There's a handful of babies coming. My 3, which none of them are like little babes in arms or anything. But we have my 13-year-old, 8 and 6-year-old. And my friend's bringing her 2 kids. And was that all this time? Maybe that's all this time. It is so cool. We get to listen to music. And honestly, summer solstice is embodied there in so many ways. You get to learn about how to live off of nature. Right, Michelle? I know. Michelle says I'm so bad with names too. Unity. I've been told that if I stop saying I'm bad with names, I'll stop struggling as much with it. I do need to stop saying I'm bad with names for me to really test that, though. But no, summer solstice symbolizes a lot of things. It's the climax of the year. In the guild, we have an initiation process that follows the wheel of the year. Now, the video is a mirror image of my reality, so I'm going to try and do this right so that it looks right for you guys. For those of you who don't know about the wheel of the year, and for those of you who do, this is a little bit redundant, I apologize. You could hear my interpretation at least. The very apex, there we go, very apex is for Yule. There we go, Yule. Yule is the beginning of the new year. It doesn't mean it gets warm right away, as we all know, because Yule is December 21st. Oh, Adam. His babies will be 9 months on the 21st. I love it. I'm gonna like that. Okay, so Yule is on the 21st of December. And no matter what I do, I keep doing this funny. I'm going to look at my hands instead of looking at you guys. And that's when the year is born. Then February 2nd is when the year really starts to hit its stride. And the god, who is believed to be born in one of the myths, at least, on December 21st, on Yule, the god becomes a full child. The birthless, deathless goddess also turns into a child then. And that's a time of storytelling, celebrating the returning of the sun. Keep in mind that part of Yule's celebration is reminding the world that the sun needs to come back. We want things to turn green again. There's a reason why we have candles and greenery inside. It's sympathy magic. Bring us back the green, bring us back the sun. And it also helps us stay okay throughout the winter. We're not dying. I deliberately set up my green and my lights on Yule, and I keep it up through Imbolc every year. Because on Imbolc, February 2nd, that's when you know the sun is coming back. For that holiday, we always now have a tradition of building an outdoor blanket fort. And we take our very safe fire pit, we put it right in the middle underneath a nice hole, so it's a very contained fire inside of a tent, much like teepees would have been, except this is made out of modern materials and right outside of my house. So Yule, Himmel. Then we come to spring solstice, spring equinox, when the year begins to really come of age, but it's still hitting its stride in this specific longitude. In this degree above the equator, we start planting our seeds inside, so that come Beltane, right here, we can really go outside and plant them, and we can have lots and lots of wonderful plants growing outside soon, because then we get to summer solstice. And summer solstice is when everything truly begins. Now here's the thing. Beltane is when the active time of the year starts. This whole time leading up to there is where you're planning. You're planning, you're getting ready for when the active time of the year is going to take over, and you're trying to get stuff done at that point. Okay? But you have time to set your goals. You have time to decide what you want to work on. You have time to think through it. Are we allowed to do that in America? I'm not sure. I consider this a guide to adulting. And because, you know, when we turned 18, we all got those, right? So I treat the Wheel of the Year as a guide to adulting, because you really do need to make time to wrap your head around the reality, to begin to plant what you want, and then put it in the ground before you expect it to start happening, right? Where it starts growing. So then summer solstice is when it's happening, and you're hitting your stride, and you're going places with it, and you're playing. Summer solstice is the apex. For initiation cycle, it's also the apex. We, not on December 21st. I don't do jack on December 21st. I talk with people about the fact that we have an initiation process. That's all I do. On Imbolc, February 2nd, again, we set, we put together contracts for those who want to participate in our initiation cycle. I'm going to be, by the way, presenting on this at Wisteria. You guys get the short version. And in February, we put together this contract, we write it out to ourselves, and then we're actually invited to burn it. It's a gift to the universe. It's not something to hold you accountable. It's something to set you on your path, to make sure you know what you're doing, or at least you think you do. Because once you tell the universe, I'm in, I want to learn, I want a new beginning, the universe hears you. It's not like you're in a vacuum. So once you write that contract, you're on your way, and stuff's going to start happening. That's something I had to learn as a student first, then as a teacher, and now as a teacher with the guild, I lead a lot more people than I used to. I'm not here to tell you the curriculum. I'm here to help you through it. I'm more of a tutor. They're the teachers. I assist. So, February 2nd, you write up your contract with what you expect, what you want to do, and what you're willing and able to do. You're allowed to set boundaries. And I highly recommend it, because the universe is listening. Spring equinox is when we cleanse and make ourselves ready for this, so that at Beltane we can officially devote ourselves to it. So when we get to summer solstice, which is, like I said, it's the apex. Summer solstice is exciting. It is possible. It is an adventure. And more than that, it's personal. So for all that I'm the priestess of our group, when we get out to Wisteria, or when people are here working on their path, however their path ends up falling together, my job as a priestess is to help them have all of the information they need. My job is to help them find what they want out of the process, to never have to feel alone. And honestly, I feel like to a certain extent, that's a really good way to approach summer solstice for any of us. That, hey, all the things I've been working on right now, they're happening. I want to have community. I want to have support. I want to have people to work with me on this. There's something kind of powerful about that. So, to explain the rest of the Wheel of the Year, just so that it's said, after summer solstice are the 3 harvest festivals. You have what I always call Lammas. I think the official Celtic name is Lugnasith. I'm probably saying that wrong. It celebrates Lugh. And I need to do more research on that. I'm sorry. I don't actually know all of the things about all of the things. I have blind spots. I bet. That's what's different. You guys get to see me without makeup this time. Last time I looked all fabulous. Now I'm not wearing makeup. Sorry, I tangent. Anyway, so Lugnasith is the first one. It celebrates the grain harvest, corn, wheat, the faster harvesting, and honestly, to a certain extent, there's beans, there's veggies, those kinds of things. You want to celebrate your cornucopia at each of the harvest festivals, regardless of how it happens. So you've got the Lugnasith, then Mabon, which is the pagan Thanksgiving, and I love. It is a celebration of all of the good things. Thank you, Luna. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate you. Just where I look washed out, you know, screens. Just make me blush though. Mabon, I love. I love the pagan Thanksgiving. I love having a full table. I love celebrating with friends. I love making a joyful noise. I love reaching out to the universe in gratitude. I think it's a powerful activity for people. And then after Mabon, which is, I believe, autumn equinox, you have Samhain. Now, what's cool about Samhain is that's when the year technically ends. Not Yule, Samhain. On Samhain, the year ends. Jennifer's funny. Blushing will give me some color. You are correct. But yes, on Samhain, the year ends. Now, on Beltane, the line between the living and the dead is considered to be thinnest, okay? On Samhain, on Beltane, the line between the living and the Fae, the world of nature, the world of spirit, is believed to be the thinnest. I said that way wrong a minute ago. Did you know it's a little bit hard to get everything right the first time on a live video? If I flunk some of my priestess tests on the first try, don't hate me. Anyway, you guys, I wish you were here to laugh with me. I do better with an active audience. So then the next, on Samhain, the line between the living and the dead is thinnest. Living in nature, living in the dead. So we interact very thoroughly with the universe around us throughout the Wheel of the Year. And then after Samhain, there's nothing. For a little while, it's just quiet. Because you can just reboot. Remember I said this is a guide for adulting? The time of the year where we are still is just as important as the time of the year when we are active. And that's also the time, Samhain is when you cut your losses. It's the end of the active time of the year. That's the best part of being alive, Jennifer says, along with that pesky motorcycle that keeps going by. Oh, honey, my road is busy. I'm so sorry. This is the best place for me to have the best backdrop, the quietest children, the quietest dogs. Anyway, and the loudest street. The best Wi-Fi, though. So with the Wheel of the Year, you end up having the quiet, restful time being an important point where you can reset. The time of death, yes, I use that word, death, that most Americans are taught to avoid like the plague. That skipped. I said death is a word that most Americans are taught to avoid like the plague. If we don't run away from death, if we don't hide from it, we can recognize that each of our lives have deaths on a fairly regular basis. When you lose a job, even one that you don't like, there's a death there. You have to reset. You have to start over, and it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. If you have a family, if you adjust your family arrangements, even a marriage, you let go of something that was old and you become something new. And processing that is something that, I don't know, a lot of us, I always feel like a lot of us are told we shouldn't, in a way. We shouldn't pay attention to those deaths. We shouldn't let go of them. I disagree. I think it's important. And the Wheel of the Year demonstrates that pretty thoroughly too, that we need to let ourselves, yep, there's that motorcycle. There's Waldo. The chick on it, no doubt. Chick motorcycle riders. I don't know, man. I love it. Anyway. So when we're celebrating our life, we need to also celebrate the deaths that we go through. We need to let ourselves be part of that process. And otherwise, the Wheel of the Year doesn't make any sense. It's not a healthful process. Adam said, I never thought of the wheel as an adulting guide. Well, if you think about it, you focus on, okay, my job just ended. Cut your losses. That by itself, take your victories, learn from them. Take your losses, learn from them. Both equally important. That by itself is such a huge deal. Then take some time down, right? Adam says it makes sense. Take that downtime for a little while. Come back to it later. We aren't often given permission on that. You lose a job, you're expected to start over. Start back up right now. It's not feasible. It's not logical. So then you go a step further. Before you leap, you actually do look. You actually plan. Love it. It's so cool. But it's so hard because you have to be willing to. You have to let yourself. And in a world that's constantly moving, where you're expected to do the 9 to 5 work every day as much as you can. Oh wait, it's Friday night. That means we're doing something else instead of work. It involves labor, but don't worry, you're not getting paid for it, so it doesn't count. Anyway, so when it comes to summer solstice, you are celebrating that break. It's a break in the active time of the year. It's one of the few where you really pause, you celebrate your work, and you should celebrate your work, but you stop for a minute. And then you can go back to the rest of the harvest. Then you can celebrate those harvest celebrations. But for right now, this week, let's go ahead and try to enjoy our work and also set aside time to rest. Deal? But no, we've got a few more people in here. Everybody, how have you been? What has been relevant in your world? What has been speaking your story? Hello, Maxine. Tell me your stories. And I'm going to, again, feel obligated to say this isn't actually the blood of mine enemies, as Adam gave me credit for. It's V8. Spicy V8. Now that I'm not feeling sick, I want to make sure to drink lots of acid to help my stomach be calm. It's yummy. So, anything fun and exciting in your lives? If not, you get to hear about mine. Right, Luna? Right. And it matches my hair. Oh, let's try that. See? See? Can't do anything with a straight face, I swear. Anyway. So I got to reconnect with family. Oh, probiotics are my friends. They are. I'm making kombucha right now. It's in my kitchen, dining room, in my dining room, in a jug, fermenting, doing its thing. It'll be done. I brewed it on June 9th, and I was planning on pulling it on the 30th because my SCOBY went from like shreds that are big to filling up the whole top of my jug within 5 days. Yes. Mm-hmm. Luna says, yum. I agree. I have mint growing out in my yard right over there. I'm going to go pick some. I'm going to put it in the bottles with some strawberries. Mmm. Oh, Jennifer. Jennifer apparently makes kombucha at Naz, where she goes for the summer all the time. I don't. I need to. I need to start doing this. Now I have a jug. I have a 2.5 gallon jug. And you know what's really funny? It's not actually that big. That looks huge. This big. My daughter ended up coming up to me 3 days after I brewed it and said, Mom, I hope you don't mind. I keep drinking that delicious sweet tea you made. Yeah, for those of you who do know what that meant and burst out laughing, thank you. You understand. And I just looked at her. I said, baby, you spend too much time in your room. That's kombucha. I'm waiting for it to brew, you nerd. Oh, Luna, I'm sorry. She's got a storm rolling in. She's getting spotty coverage. I have no such issues. If the storm did roll in, I would be in a bad place. So let's see. I want to tell you guys some of what's been going on with me. In these study sessions, the goal is to be able to get to know you guys and kind of supplement some of the things I've been talking about. So let's get heavy for a minute. Deal? Okay? Is that all right? When I started this study session process for the year, I was planning on working with you guys as close to one-on-one as I can. Adam, you're funny. I already am heavy, he says. I was planning on trying to do roughly the equivalent of sharing a normal one-on-one study session with you guys. That's hard for me to do because I don't have any pushback, if you know what I mean. When I'm meeting people in person, I can feel the energy of the whole process. I can talk with folks fairly directly about what's been going on with me, what's been going on with them. It's a little harder in this format. It doesn't make it bad. So the structure of it is such that I want to involve you all actively on a personal level for each of you. But how? When I first started off the study sessions for this course, and it is a course, I was following the standard for what I would do with a new student. First off, it works around real life. It works around my life in that last week you guys just didn't get a study session from me on Thursday. I ended up crippled on Thursday. Somebody poked an old trauma. Nothing more than that, and I was just a wreck. Embarrassed. It's also very busy. I had a handful of things come up, but it was a lot. So it works around my life, but it also works around yours. It's a matter of when you guys are available to be able to connect, when you are available to be able to talk. So if I'm sending out study sessions and you aren't reading them, don't hold it against yourselves. I'm not going to. This is supposed to take place in real life. And that's one of the things that I guess I maybe haven't talked about as much as I should. I think that magic is only really worth a damn in your life if it happens around your real life. As in, if your kids are hungry, the food that you're getting for them, while it's pulling you away from your altar or your group obligations or even your work, right now the food for them is the most important thing in your world. And it's not a bad thing. If you look at it honestly, you're giving to them from the earth. I'm pointing to my gardens. There you go. You're giving to them from the earth something that has grown, something that has been nourished by the soil, by the air, by the rain. Adam's cooking right now. This makes me smile. And even by the warmth of the sun. All of these pieces and parts are so necessary. And you're taking that and turning it into something delicious for them. If there was an animal involved, you are using some of their spirit, some of their energy. And hopefully you're asking for permission or at least giving thanks for it. But one way or another, you're taking these things and you're turning them into something new and hopefully delicious. In that moment, that's the magic of your life. It's not that the other things aren't important. It's not that your connection to the divine, or at least to the intimate part of this universe, the energy, the reality, the sentience, it's not that that's not important. It's that right now, you need to focus on what is. If that is keeping your boss happy so that you manage to work at your job for another week, that's important. If it's dropping everything for a deadline, that's what matters. Magic has gotten a bad rap, I feel, because so many people took the things of magic. The fluorescent light bulbs that were invented by alchemists, the electricity that was used in batteries in ancient Egyptian tombs. They've taken those things and they've explained them. They've given them a place inside of the toys that your kids use or the kitchen implements. Because they're explained, because there's a blueprint, because there's an explanation, suddenly they're not magic. It does us a disservice. We have spent so long, the people who listen to the world. Wicca means wise one. Wicca, W-I-C-C-A, means wise one. It's genderless. It's the people who listen to what the earth has to say. We don't need to be given a guide if we're listening to what the earth is telling us to do, a lot of us anyway. So many people I know have accidentally replicated techniques that they didn't know were extraordinary. Hello, Jasmine. It's lovely to see you, sweetie. And these people who are replicating these ancient techniques don't know they're doing anything exceptional. They don't know they're doing anything exciting, except they do because they're so excited. Look what I found. Look what I did. And then they find out that someone else did it too, and they're like, oh, that makes me less than awesome. Oh, well, Jasmine, I'm really happy you swung by. She says I won't be able to watch yet. I just clocked in. We'll see you later, sweetie. And thanks for the share earlier. I noticed it. You totally made my heart smile. I almost cried at work. It was kind of funny. But no, so when we, as Wiccas, as people who pay attention to the universe, who listen to what it has to say, when we experience that moment in each of our lives, what we're doing is magic. Everything past that is gravy, okay? Now, yes, we can do some really cool stuff. I have a friend who once, because she was mad, she was so mad. She was so justifiably mad. She's a fire element. For those out there who are fire elements, you guys probably know that looks like it just skipped a whole bunch. My friend was a fire element. She got upset and turns around, and the gas stove, which is not on, is shooting up flames, you know, like a foot in the air. Oops, not bad. I affect people. I used to be able to bend time, and then I did it once with my mom while she was driving, and I didn't realize I had. We made a 2.5-hour trip in about an hour. And my mom says, I know I did not speed. I did not speed that much anyway. And I'm like, no. I'm sorry. That was me. It was not you. I normally try not to do this stuff in front of you. This is incredibly awkward, but I just magicked in front of you. And I know you try not to do that. But I just spent time and I'm sorry. And she's like, wait, what? I said, Mom, it's not like I say I believe in magic because I'm superstitious. I believe in it because I've had proof. Now you have proof. And you didn't really want it. So I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Can we just go eat lunch and not talk about this again? That's what we did. We ate lunch. We didn't talk about it again. So when it comes to our practice, what we're trying to do when we work on it, when we find the terms for it, when we describe our religion, somewhat we're trying to find community. We're trying to find a definition that can give us personal validation. Now, don't misunderstand me. A lot of us are independent, and very happily so. But there's something to be said for, I'm religious, not I'm pagan, but I'm Wiccan. I am Alexandrian Wiccan. I am from the novices of the old ways. I am from a strong tradition that is handed down by these specific people throughout time and space. This inner reward to having a definition can't really be understated. It ends up feeling a little bit more just, I don't know, real. I spent years searching for that, years trying to find the name of my deity. I call my mother goddess Mama. I call my father God Papa. And I've met many different faces of gods that feel familiar to me. They feel like home to me. But then when I speak to the lady, I know her voice and I haven't found her name yet. I know his voice and I haven't found his name yet. I've talked with Raven. I know about Raven. I know about Coyote. I know about Legba, Anansi. I might have a thing for prankster gods. I might. A little. And hunters. But the ladies of the hearth, those, oh, them's my girls. And there's not one of them, not any one, that is absolutely just explained that person I've talked to my whole life. Because she is a person. I know her. She's my bestie. She's been with me forever. Mama. When it's my practice, I don't actually share that as much with you guys. I'm not sure if you noticed. When I talk about my study sessions, I talk about what I've learned. I talk about what I've studied. I've talked about what I've done. When I start making it about my practice, I feel like I'm losing something. Because you see, the universal stuff that pulls us together, that brings us together, it's universal stuff. It doesn't require your belief in it in order to exist. And so when I'm describing a lot of that, I'm describing the way the world works. Because it works that way. The same way that the cogs in a clock wheel will do the same things in the same orders. I speak about relationships. I speak about loneliness. I speak about imposed solitude, believed solitude, and then the willingness to break through it. I talk about a lot of different aspects of that in the process of my study sessions. But your path is yours. I was just having a conversation with someone, and he was saying how much he likes to focus on the variety. Sorry if I kicked me. You guys are sitting on a table right now. Not to sound totally weird. My screen that I'm recording from is on a table, and I kicked the table. Sorry. I was talking with someone about how he likes to focus on the variety of spirituality. That it's not any one path that will necessarily speak to somebody. It's not any one path that's going to really nail it down for anyone, for everyone. Ugh. No, I agree. Totally agree. The guild that I run is based off of that foundational notion. In fact, I've finally realized the name for our religion, if there is a name for it, unorthodox. Obviously. Unorthodox. Because there's not a single right path to fit anybody. We are many. The voice of God speaks differently to each of us because we're each different. We aren't identical. We aren't supposed to be. All of our experience is different. The way that mom and dad appear to us are different. The very concept of energy and growth and possibility, these change for each and every one of us. It's beautiful. It's incredible. And the actual fact that there's any similarities between the wide variety of reality that the universe produces, that's the magic. That's the mystery. Of course there's variety. Why the heck would we all match? And yet, the beauty of it, we do, somewhat, now and then. It's cool. It's really cool from where I'm sitting. So when I'm putting together these study sessions, when I'm putting together this course right now that I'm talking to you about right now, here's the thing. I'm putting together something that is not aimed at you learning my way. My way is exquisite for me. It's not about me. If you guys are watching this, if you've been reading my posts, it's actually about you. And what I want is for you to kind of embrace that. Let the questions tickle your mind. Let the thoughts, the reactions happen. And by the way, please disagree with me. Okay? Don't just agree with me. I want you to do you right. I know. Organized leader saying, don't agree? No, the discussion between different points can be so helpful. Oh my gosh, I talked with a guy today. He was telling me about, well, I'm a climate change denier, but not the typical kind. And I stopped. I said, really? Because I've spent a lot of time studying this, and I have wondered what the evidence is to the contrary. I'm assuming you have it, because it turns out he's very saying this. Lo and behold, he starts explaining to me how when they went back to investigating the ice caps, they found out, because they checked, I don't know if you guys know this, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to skip information. They took samples of ice cap ice, the whole depth, deep down in. And from different eras, they took different samples of the ice. So they could test the amount of oxygen, the amount of carbon dioxide, etc. that were in there. Oh no, I know I'm assuming the EEC has to do with the climate change thing. I think I'm with you on that. But here's the thing. He said that they'd gone back through and rechecked those ice samples, and that this wasn't necessarily the highest time in Earth's history that carbon dioxide levels had been high. And that, in fact, we've been going through a real deficit when it comes to carbon dioxide, not on a personal level, but as a planet, that there wasn't enough carbon dioxide to truly allow the plants, I froze up again, there we go, to truly allow the plants to get a leg in, to really get ahead. And that now that there's higher carbon dioxide levels, there's a greater ability for plants to reassert themselves worldwide. And then he dropped the subject completely. He said, we'll talk about it more later. I was coming up to talk about something else entirely. I'm sorry. That's the thing. Oh, I'm sorry, Adam. Is it better? I hope. Maybe. So, oh, please, I hope I didn't chase anyone off. Hi, everybody. I'm still here. Are you back, Jennifer? Teach me to talk about climate change denial as a pagan. Everyone went away. Come back. Did we lose all of that? You're still wearing...
I find that it won't.
Well, they don't get me. You are still wearing pudding. You can't be on screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not on screen.
You're not, but go. I had a glitch. What is it?
What the heck?
I think there's an issue. I'm still here if you guys are, and it says I've still got really good Wi-Fi, and I'm connected to the right Wi-Fi. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to